This video, I'm going to give you a support build for Dead by Daylight. Last video, I got a few comments from some of you saying you liked Kindred, so you want Kindred, you'll get Kindred. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get right into it. So skill-based matchmaking just came out, and climbing right now is really easy. Apparently, you can't really D-rank, you just lose MMR now. And I've been out of town, so I haven't been playing much, but this is the build I'll be using to get back to red ranks, and it's more team-oriented, and it runs Will Make It, Kindred, Borrowed Time, and Prove Thyself. Will Make It is a perk that gives you a 100% increase to healing speed after you unhook somebody, and it lasts 90 seconds. With this, it's super quick to heal somebody right after you unhook them. Basically, after the unhook, they'll get an indicator that no one really pays attention to, and then it takes 8 seconds to fully heal somebody. It's a very strong perk, and it can save a lot of time. The main problem with this perk is you'll find that you have to chase some people sometimes, but as my MMR has been climbing, I've found this happens a lot less often. We'll make it last 90 seconds, so we really want to try to find as many survivors as we can that we can safely heal. And that's one of the reasons why we're running this next perk. Kindred is a perk that benefits both the user and the team. While you're hooked or another survivor is hooked, the aura of every survivor is revealed to each other, and so is the aura of the killer when he's within 16 meters of the hook. Kindred really helps with the timing of unhooks, which is something Bond doesn't do. We know if the killer's close to the hook and what we're getting into. Kindred works really well with Will Make It because we'll have a good idea whether or not it's safe to heal on the hook. We can also use it to tell if somebody's already going for an unhook, or be on the lookout for other injured teammates, so after we unhook, we can heal more than one. The only downside to this is that if no one's hooked, then Kindred isn't active. This is why I prefer Bond in certain builds, but in a build like this, Kindred just works so well with the other perks. Borrowed Time is our next perk, the ultimate support perk when everything goes well. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen that way. After we unhook a survivor, that survivor is basically invulnerable to being down for 12 seconds. It helps support our teammates and can benefit us as well because our teammates can take a hit for us. And it helps in situations where there's no way to get the person off the hook without them being downed again. For example, here's a game in which the killer is just camping the hook. I actually messed up here pretty bad because I should have waited for somebody else to take the first hit and then go for the unhook. But I knew I hadn't been hooked already, so I could play a little bit risky. So I go for this hook, and I end up getting downed. And I went over to the pallet, but I guess nobody got there in time. Thankfully, somebody else was running Borrowed Time, so we all ended up getting away. But here's the opposite situation where somebody wasn't running Borrowed Time, and they went for the unhook, and we both get downed. I can't take the hit for him because he unhooked me when the killer was right there, and I just get downed a second later. The last perk is Prove Thyself. Prove Thyself gives a stackable 15% bonus to repair speed to those within 4 meters, and it also gives us a 100% bonus to blood points for co-op actions. As always, you want to try to split gens, but Prove Thyself is such a good perk when we're in situations where it makes more sense to just do the gens with somebody. For those of you who have seen my builds before, if you can't tell, Prove Thyself is one of my favorite perks. Getting rid of the penalty of working with others on gens is good on its own, but you also get the added bonus to blood points, and I think it makes it a stellar perk. If you feel like you're having trouble in chases with this build, or you just don't need the blood points and want to run an exhaustion perk, then you'll probably want to replace this. I don't suggest removing Borrowed Time because it works so well with the build. As far as playing the build, it's quite simple. Try to avoid chases till you at least get one gen and one unhook. The build is centered around helping teammates through unhooks and using Kindred to tell if we can heal on the hook or find others to heal. Since you're running Borrowed Time and Kindred, it makes it a lot easier going for unhooks when the killer is proxying, and you should be the one going for the unhooks. If you get downed, at least you'll buy your team some time. I'll be using this build to get to red ranks, and then probably switch to a looping build as my MMR rises. But I hope this helps some of you out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next video.